Pisces and Capricorn, what y'all doing? Y'all being enablers? Y'all being enablers? Or y'all being intense and serious enough about each other to let each other know that y'all got a bigger purpose in life when y'all be together? What y'all doing? But anyway, Sun is in the 7th house of Virgo for Pisces, and it's in the 9th house of Virgo for Capricorn. So what does this mean? This means Pisces is going to be focusing and concentrating on how they are inside of their relationship with you, Capricorn. And Capricorn, you're going to be focusing and concentrating on, is this a journey that you're going on? Excuse me. Is your life a journey that you're going on? Is this fulfilling to the point where you are living life to the best of your ability? Is this your life to own, or do you feel like you've been trapped prior to this time? You're going to be analyzing these things, Capricorn. And if your Pisces significant other or lover has their hands gripped on you in a type of way that it does not allow you to be free, you're going to be thinking about this. You're going to be weighing in on this. Pisces, you should be weighing, now that you got the heads up, you should be weighing in on yourself to ask yourself, do you get down like that when it comes to your Capricorn other, your lover? All right, because when the sun goes round, it's going to come back to these places, come back to these places, come back to these places. And if you haven't figured this out by now, you should. The 9th house is ruled by Sagittarius, yo. So eventually, you can have your grips in your Capricorn, Pisces, but eventually a time is going to come when they're going to say enough is enough, if that's what's going on. Now, if you, on the other hand, Pisces, do not put your grips all over the Capricorn like that, then you don't got to worry about that. I tell you this, though, you're going to have to worry about something else. Perhaps. I'm not saying you're definitely going to have to, but you might face worrying about something else, and that is not putting your grips on a Capricorn woman enough. They might think that you don't want them enough. You give them too much leeway, you give them too much freedom. Right? And I only say that because you got to remember they're not a Sagittarius. They're still a Capricorn. And Capricorn likes to have anxious attachments to people. Okay? And if they don't feel like they can latch on to you, like what I'm saying with you, then they might feel that there's something wrong with the relationship. Like you don't got the hots for them no more or something like that. Or you're okay with them being out and about. And if that's the case, okay, really? They might turn up on you and test the waters when it comes to that. Oh, Lord, here I go, reminiscing on Capricorn stuff. But I'm serious, y'all. And with it being in Virgo, the expression of Virgo is going to be analytical, it's going to be critical, and it's going to want to know how do these things work. It's most efficient. You understand? How does this work the best? Not, smarter, not harder type stuff. So, again, Capricorn is going to be thinking about the bigger picture here. Are they free to roam? Are they free to do the things that they want to do? Can they do it with you, Pisces, is what you need to be focusing on, right? Because I don't know about you, but I feel like when people reach that point to where they want to do more traveling, if they haven't been doing it all their lives already, or, they want to explore the world, they want to do more stuff for humankind, they want to be, they want to have more of a purpose in life. If the significant other is not involved in that, a breakup is on the way, So that's just something to keep in mind for you Pisces and Capricorns who are serious about each other. When Virgo season comes around, you got to be on point. You understand? Now, I'm not saying Pisces, you got to do a lot of chasing and begging the Capricorn either. I know I might have made it sound like that, but, Capricorn, you got to realize that you're in a relationship. And during Virgo season, your significant other is analyzing the relationship, the partnership. And if you too loosey-goosey over there for the tasting and the liking of your partner, that's something that's going to be under examination. That's something that's under the microscope. That's where the focus and the concentration is going to be. And it's going to be the 8th house next for Pisces. 8th house represents sex, desire, the passion. So you'll be able to eavesdrop and figure out if something went wrong during Virgo season, depending on how that Pisces is honing in on you or not when Libra season comes around. You understand? And this is very important as well because Capricorn and Libra is the 10th house for you. And should I say this yet? Let me do Mercury first. Let me talk about Mercury first. All right. So Mercury is in Virgo as well, right? Mercury is in Virgo for both of you. Again, for Pisces in the 7th house. So the mental processing of this and the communication is going to be expressed with this as well. Now, it may come across as, depending on how your relationship is, what's up with all of that flying all over around the world and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't go with you. I ain't get no invite, or, maybe your schedule was conflict. I don't know, or maybe it's just not the Pisces cup of tea, Capricorn, and you went to do the trip with your gal pals and stuff like that. Whatever it is, maybe y'all can get past it, you can get over it. It's not that serious, but maybe it is, But if anything, with Virgo, Mercury being in Virgo, Pisces more along the lines, even though not as comfortable as they want to be, they might not be able to hold back from expressing it. But they might just. Don't, you know what I mean? And Virgo is a hermit mode sign as well. So if they feel wronged, but they don't want to make an ass out of themselves, they may pull back and not say anything at all. But you'll notice the tension. You'll pick up on it if you're with each other, and even if you don't live with each other, by the time y'all go to communicate, you're gonna pick up on this. Now, Mercury is going to be in the 9th house for you, Capricorn, right? But it's going to be moving into the house of Libra come September 10th. All right? For both of y'all, September 10th. So what does this mean for y'all? Well, Capricorn, your life weighs heavy on who you are involved with on a husband type level or on a significant other type level, on a relationship that you have. And if it's not a romantic or like a partnership relationship, as someone of monogamous type of relations, then it's going to be the people that you work with in your career. So because of the context of this reading, I'm going to keep it based upon your partner, the significant other, your lover. You understand? And when these signs enter Libra, then you're going to be more along the lines of wanting to express who it is that you're with in the public eye at that, because your career and your recognition weighs on that. Other signs, not so much as yours. You understand? So who you are with in the limelight, Capricorn, means a lot. So Mercury is going to be going retrograde also on September 7th. And it won't go direct until October 2nd. In between time, you'll be able to reflect on perhaps prior relationships even before Pisces, so you can measure Pisces. You understand what I'm saying? And say, okay, it's recognition and status and authoritative figure time. How do I match up and how do I line up with this Pisces? And the awkward part about this is Libra is the 8th house for Pisces. So they might not want to be public about all of this stuff. It's trippy, right? It's trippy. It can get tricky and it could be unnerving based upon these two places, right? One wants to be out in the open, the other one wants to be behind the scenes. But there might be some compromise, there might be some cooperation should you need, Capricorn, to have that for, I'd say, to enhance your prowess in some type of way, right? Then it makes sense. Like if y'all are a power couple, then it's cool to show up and pop out like that. But if y'all not rocking like that, y'all together, but your career or your, that type of thing doesn't depend on y'all being visible and all of that, you got to make the decision, Capricorn. Is it worth it? Is it worth being upset or saying to yourself, I can't really be with this person like that because I can't show off with them. I can't be out there with them. Because you got to remember, this is a fleeting moment. This is a fleeting time, right? So the sun is only going to be here for a period of time. So this will come and go. Capricorn, but if you base your communication, right, because you're going to be communicating, and Mercury is involved with decision making as well. So if you make the decision to say, well, you know what, I just came back from wherever you took the long distance travel to, it might have been your mom's house, you know what I'm saying, without Pisces, and you might have went with them, you know what I mean. I'm speaking like it's the worst, but these are negative energies, you know. This is pessimistic signs, you know. So just keeping it a being. I want it to work, but I'm just telling you how this stuff can go during this time. If you let that get the best of you, instead of saying, you know what, we're great together anyway, you know, we don't have to be out in the open because my career really doesn't depend on it. I don't get more kudos or brownie points when everybody sees us. If any, it might bring worse, it might bring negative effects. You know what I'm saying? You know, bad press is all press is good press, but you get what I'm saying, right? 8th house is about weathering the storms with relationships and partnerships anyway. So your Pisces is going to be game to go through this with you, whether it is that you want that type of recognition or spotlight or not. You know, it's going to be the time for that as well. They might be like, well, you know, with Mercury being here, as long as we can talk about this stuff, we're going to be good. So this is the key component for y'all this at this time, y'all. Y'all need to talk to each other. Y'all need to talk to each other, and y'all need to figure out, I say for this pairing as well, astrocartography is important, yo. It's important for all the relationships, but figure out where y'all stuff is at. You know what I'm saying? Because no matter where y'all are in the world, y'all need to talk, but y'all don't need to talk about regular stuff. Y'all need to talk about deep stuff. Capricorn, Pisces is going to be your spiritual Gemini. And what I mean by that is they're going to talk to you about the deep stuff. So Capricorn, if you want material possessions and you want a materialistic lifestyle, that's cool. But you might have shallow friends around you when you're doing it. Okay? Meaning they might just be around because you're glossy, you're glittery, and you're glamorous. You know what I'm saying? Because you got the bag. You know, and you might bust your ass for that bag too. And maybe your friends don't do it as hard as you do. Maybe they do. You know what I'm saying? But if they don't have no depth to them, then it's going to defeat the purpose of being, how should I say this? It's going to defeat the purpose of being with a Pisces. I'm going to just keep it a being with you, because a Pisces is going to be that in-depth acquaintance that you need. And I'm going to say acquaintance because this is a lot of the times how Capricorn and Pisces relationships go, at least in the beginning. It can get deeper and spiral upward, downward. I'm gonna let y'all decide that, right? But it usually starts off as Pisces being an acquaintance of the Capricorn, and they give you these ultimatums. They say, well, they give you freedom. They say, well, after communicating, they're like, well, I see I see how you looking at so and so. You know what I'm saying? When y'all are not together, I'm saying, I see how you looking at so and so, and they be like, yeah, but I'm looking at you too, and you be like, yeah, I see how you look at me too. You know, so Pisces are actually allowed the freedom to, oh, you could be with that type, or you're going to be with this type. What they're doing is what they're doing in their mind is saying, I'm going to show you this type and you're not going to ever get over this type. You know, you're going to remember me no matter what happens to us or who you get with later, or if we fall apart, you're going to remember me. That's how it should be. However, at the same time, Pisces, to make this a better, effective team, don't give them the ultimatum to say, you know, you could go fuck off with whoever. You know, you can still allow your partner, your Capricorn partner, to know that they have the freedom to do what it is that they want to do, because I told you how important that's going to be to your relationship as well, because of the 7th and the 9th house thing going on, right? You can still do that without giving them some type of double logic, you know? Let them know you that nigga. You that bitch, point blank, period. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, this is how I'm rocking, and you know that, so you should be here. You know, I should be here, and this is why. You should be there because you have more depth to you, all right? And you're gonna be the person that guides the Capricorn and says, look, you're better than that. You're gonna be the person that points out the fake friends, the phonies, the everything. Like, you're going to be able to see through all of that for Capricorn, and you're going to tell them. You're going to tell Capricorn, listen to me. Pisces is going to tell you this stuff. Whether you listen to it or not is up to you. Now, this is something you got to also be careful of, Capricorn, that your Pisces significant other, your lover, is not selling you dreams, is not selling you down a river. Listen to the promises that they keep. Compare and contrast the promises that they keep to the promises that your friends keep. All right? And you're going to be able to pick up on what I'm telling you. Because not for nothing, Pisces is just a deceptive sign. So they need some type of grounding to them. You might be that anchor to actually ground them. They might, because sometimes Pisces just do it without even knowing that they're doing it. They're like, yeah, you know, your milk, your eyes look like bowls of green jello, and I just want to, you know, or whatever the fuck, you know, and then you go for that shit, and then you just like, man, you come to find out later that they're not really about that life, you know. They got to be serious about you, is pretty much what I'm saying, you know. And all it takes is to just be there as far as a guiding light is concerned, moreover than being someone that is trying to promise you the world, Capricorn. They don't got to promise you the world. You could basically get the world on your own, especially with their guidance. You know what I'm saying? You may even find out that doing some type of spiritual work or some metaphysical type of work may even work better in your favor. And I know that may sound off because of the natural tendency of a Capricorn sign to be worldly, right? But I'm telling you, when you're pairing with a Pisces, this can happen. You just got to be sure that this Pisces is not deceiving you, because the sign is deceptive on its own. Pisces, you got to be sure that when you communicate to Capricorn, you're not trying to win them over with promises. You're just telling them what it is because you see it, and it's you're obligated to communicate that to them. You know what I mean? You see they fly, they flash, and let them have that. That's them. That's what they do. You know what I mean? You might even match they fly. If you do, so even better, right? But if you don't, if you're just like a totally different person, Pisces, just be you, yo. Be who you are. They're going to find a way to incorporate that into their lifestyle. Like, yo, this is my deep friend over here. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, friends become lovers and all that Gucci stuff. If that's what y'all doing, you know what I mean? Talking about relationships, right? So if that's what y'all doing, that's what y'all doing. But don't change that part. Don't start lying to them, because you're just going to be just like the shallow friends that you're trying to get them away from, or trying to at least bring their attention to. Like, yo, you ain't peep that, you know, you don't peep that, right? Because you just so busy working, and then you just want to play after work, and you don't understand what's going on. These people talk about you and all type of stuff. I never heard them personally speak about, but I hear them speaking about you. Like, I see how they look at you. I see their body language when they're around you. I see you don't see none of this, do you? You know what I mean? And Capricorn, if you take that for granted, you'll regret it later in life. It's not a threat. I'm just telling you how it is. Like, you'll be able to look back and be like, yo, that girl or that dude genuinely cared about me. They was telling me stuff and showing me stuff years ago that only now, years later, that I realized was true. You know? So communicate. Y'all need to communicate with each other. And whatever it is that y'all get into, because I'm telling you, if you talk about friendship, Capricorn is going to end up being your friend, Pisces. But you do got to assess them in that type of spiritual manner and say, yo, and when I say friend, I mean 11th house friend, like corporate type friend. Like, yo, we doing it. You weather the storm, you with it now. And they'll finally see, like, yeah, okay, I do got a spiritual side, and But if they don't pass the test, Pisces, of being able to, what's that word? Discern who is who, it ain't going to work. It ain't going to work between y'all. Let's get to the next planet. Venus being in the 6th house for Pisces, going into the 7th house September 6th, being in the 8th house for Capricorn. Well, it's about sex. You know what I mean? 8th house is about more than just sex, but you know what I'm saying. Like, 8th house is sex, and you got the planet Venus there, which is the love planet, interacting, attraction levels. So you should be attracting your Pisces partner at this time. Unless they are hard at work and they can't get in the sack with you, that's another thing. You know, that's another thing. And then you may internalize that on a deeper level, Capricorn, and say, well, man, what is our life like, to the point where I want my lover right now for significant needs and can't get them because they're overworked. Now, Capricorn, you more than anybody could understand that, right? The whole workaholic stuff, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's right. it doesn't necessarily mean that it's cool. Maybe y'all should have that time to be able to do what it is that y'all want to do to the extent that y'all want to do it. So there's something to consider, especially with Venus being in the 6th house for Pisces, because they could have a routine of having sex with you. You know what I'm saying? Like that usually is part of their routine. I'm telling y'all from experience too. That does something for the mental health, the physical health, all of that of a Pisces, to routinely have sex. And with Capricorn, because routine for Pisces is in the same sign of Leo, but it's the 8th house for Capricorn. You know what I mean? So that's the sex house. So it gels well. There's no real conflict there. Capricorns and Pisces that are out there, do y'all have a lot of sex or no? Keep it a bean. I'm just saying, that's how it is. So that keeps y'all royal. You know what I'm saying? It keeps y'all like real royal. If I could put it, that's the term that I would use. It makes y'all royalty. Like when that lacks, then there's some questioning going on that y'all are gonna have to do. Like something's going on to the point where y'all gotta look at it and, toxicity, like break up sex and stuff like that. But it shouldn't even have to get there because y'all sex so good, or y'all can anyway. I don't know. I had a Pisces tell me like a Capricorn was born for them or whatever the case may be, and I guess that could happen. I guess it's an ascendance or something like that. But I don't know. Y'all get in the comment section. Y'all let me know how y'all doing or whatever the case may be. Like I'm all in y'all bedroom now. But let me see. Is there something that I should look deeper into? Well, I mean, Venus is going into different houses. It's going into the 7th house for Pisces, and then it's going into the 9th house for Capricorn come September 6th, right? So the streak of, I shouldn't say the streak, but the interaction level, should Pisces be able to get off work and have sex with you, Capricorn, will enhance when Venus gets inside of the 7th house of Virgo, because it's the 7th house and they're going to want to interact with their significant other. The Venus rules over the 7th house. You know what I'm saying? And they're going to be, again, watching your moves, studying you. You know what I mean? And on the other hand now, Capricorn, if your Venus gets the best of you when it comes to the 9th house, then this is going to be something that Pisces may look at like, yo, are you here with me right now? What's going on with you? What you thinking about? And if you're not expressing or interacting on that level, that's in regards to, the two of you, that could be put on the table. That could be what the discussion, what the interaction is about, And Venus is not always rosy, y'all. Venus is not always like, okay and agreeable. It's like each of you are going to weigh your value out and be like, you're going to decide of what you will put up and what you won't put up with. Like it rules over Taurus too. You know what I'm saying? So the stubbornness, the whole evaluation of oneself will kick into gear and be like, well, word, that's what you want to do? Or you want to go on a cruise? I don't want to go on no cruise. Let's go do something different than that, like a cruise. Yeah, I want to go on a cruise. Well, if you don't want to go, then I'm going to go with somebody else. And then y'all, not like another lover, but, I'm going to go with somebody else. And then we're planning another trip. You don't know how this is going to go, but it could go, it doesn't have to be rosy is pretty much what I'm saying. It could go a whole totally different direction. And it might just be because Capricorn wants to express their love with freedom, not under the restraints of their significant other, their lover. So 7th and 9th house can be tricky for y'all. You know what I mean? I'm going to just keep it a bean when Venus moves into Virgo. Yeah. Okay. So let's get into the planet Mars. Planet Mars is in the sign of Gemini for both of you. It's in the 4th house for Pisces. It's in the 6th house for Capricorn. Now, I'd say this is a good placement for y'all during Virgo season, and I'm going to tell you why. Capricorn is usually a workaholic. Most Caps I know really like to put work in. You know what I'm saying? What it is that they're doing, we can't be 100% sure. It might be crime. You know what I'm just saying? It is what it is, but they will be doing something. The most of the Caps I know anyway. So this is going to be cool for the Cap because they're used to putting in diligent work anyway. Mars, the planet of action and passion, is there. They can get real into it, what it is that they're doing. They could be streamlined, blinders on, and not looking left and not looking right. They're getting it done. With Mars being in the 4th house of Pisces, sure, you're going to want to communicate, Pisces. However, at the same time, you can do a lot of that at home. So if y'all are together, y'all share homes together, y'all be at each other places and stuff like that, use the time to speak at home. Can it get aggressive? Sure it can. Can y'all get into some arguments? Sure you can. However, at the same time, it might spark the energy that y'all need to make each other better. This could be steel, sharp and steel here. This can also be very passionate. The sparks could be flying in the bed here as well. 4th house is the home. So y'all could tear the walls up. Y'all could sheetrock some. You know what I'm saying? Or, how should I say it? Not or, but and Capricorn can do this in a routine way for 7 months. Mars is going to be in Gemini for 7 months. You know what I'm saying? And y'all can get like creative to the point where y'all could use y'all minds and be like, oh, babe, get the ice cubes. You know what I'm saying? It's in Gemini. You know what I'm saying? So there ain't no telling what could happen when it comes to sexual behavior. It doesn't have to be in the 8th house. You know what I'm saying? Like, but at the same time, Pisces, you could lack time with your Capricorn because there's so much into work. It could happen. I don't know what profession your Cap is in. And if your Cap is one of those hard workers, you might miss them, schedules may conflict. And the only way that I won't say the only way, but the best way that can work in the both of y'all favor is if like you're actually doing homework, Pisces, And I'm guessing anyway, because what would you be doing with that Mars energy, right? You got to harness it and direct it somewhere, or it can go into a negative space, and you don't want that to happen to where it becomes a detriment. It becomes a detriment to you. It's going to become a detriment to your partner. Possibly, but I would say when people are together, when one is going through something, the other one feels it naturally, right? Well, if you got empathy anyway, if you're on that whole narcissistic tip, then maybe not. But, this is what y'all will be facing when it comes to the planet Mars. Being in Gemini, using your hands a lot, touching each other and stuff like that, being passionate about each other, desiring each other, at least in the mind. So if y'all are hard at work at stuff, if y'all don't get y'all text on, something's going on in the relationship. If y'all not getting freaky in the DMs and stuff like that, whatever the case may be, even if y'all just having fun, flirty fun, then something is up. Y'all ain't doing each other right, and that's foul. Y'all need to get yourself together. Let's go to Jupiter now. So Jupiter's in Aries in the 4th house of Aries in retrograde for Capricorn, and it's in the 2nd house retrograde in Aries for Pisces. So, Capricorn, you're going to be thinking about home life, but on a lofty level. You might be thinking about homes in different parts of the nation, homes in different countries, and you're wondering why you ain't got it yet. Or you're wondering if you even want them. Or you got them and you're wondering why you have them. And it's probably time to get rid of them. It's probably time to put them all up for sale and move into a studio. Right? Because there's people from all walks of life that I'm talking to right now, all types of income levels, all types of achievements and accolades. Some people who have an abundance of things, which is Jupiter, realize that it's not what it's cracked up to be. And when Jupiter is retrograde, this is when you can find those things out. You're going to be looking at things, Capricorn, and says, how have these things helped me? Have they harmed me? And if not, I'm going to get rid of them in order to protect myself. Because stuff that harms you is because you have it, right? So it's like the utility value. Utility value is, let me explain this. Utility value, for those, this is a term I learned in college in economics. Utility value is how much you value something based upon the incidence level of experiencing it or using it. So what I mean is, let's say you get a 6-pack of beer, right? Now, you had the option to get a 24-pack of beer, but you didn't get the 24-pack. You got the 6-pack instead. Why did you do that? Because usually when you get a 24-pack of beer, and they're in smaller cans, you end up drinking like 7 of them in the same day, and you end up feeling sick. The next day you feel drowsy. You wake up later than usual and you're sluggish. Your mouth tastes like beer. And you compared and you contrasted that to when you bought 6-packs. You would drink one beer one night and it would be like the greatest beer that you ever drank. And then you went out the next day, forgot you even had beers, didn't drink another beer until the third day, and then you drank 2 beers the next time. And you was like, oh, this is great beer. And then your 6-pack lasted you about 4 to 5 days, but you just had more quality beer drinking times in comparison to where you had that big old box of beers and you felt worse about yourself. That's what utility value is. How many of these is going to make me feel good until I reach the point to where it makes me feel sick? All right. So Capricorn, this is what you're going to be doing. Capricorn, Pisces, you're going to be doing this when it comes to your money. How much money have I spent on food? And I'm saying food because Taurus rules over the second house and Taurus rules over the throat. So yeah, the stuff that you put in your mouth, pause. How has that affected you? How has that impacted you? Did it make you feel sick because you spent all of this money? You know how sometimes you could spend a whole lot of money on produce and the produce ends up going bad because you couldn't even peep that you were going to have a busy week flying around out in the world. So now you buying stuff out in the world because you ain't packed no pack-on lunch bag. You could have probably, but you just wasn't thinking that way, right? So now you bought mad stuff out in the world. You come back home. You're lazy because you're tired. You don't want to cook. And then produce is just sitting there. You're not just going to grab a head of lettuce and start busting it down. You might, though. You know, especially for the raw vegans out there, you might. You probably should, too. But stuff can happen like that, right? So you're going to be looking at stuff like that, Pisces. Also things related to your finances. Did you have to spend this on that? Like, really? I don't care how much wealth you have, how much stuff you got. Did you? Could it have been placed somewhere else? Could it be sitting somewhere gaining interest? All types of stuff. You're going to be thinking about these things because Jupiter is internalizing. It's retrograde, so you're going to be internalizing. And this is going to help you to transition. And with it being in Aries, you're going to be more focused on yourselves. But don't fret. The better you are yourself, the better you are when it comes to getting back into the relationship. Right? 2 optimal people make an optimal couple, you know? And I wouldn't worry or be concerned about, and this is for 2 secure people, by the way, you know? So if you notice that the things relative to the things I just said about Jupiter being in Aries or making you feel uncomfortable or rubbing one of you or both of you the wrong way, then y'all are not good. Y'all are toxic. Y'all are bad for each other. Because y'all should not feel insecure when one is coming up. Y'all not, and you also shouldn't feel like you're getting one up on the other one if they're a little bit slower at advancing with that energy. You know, you should be cheerful that the both of you are working on yourselves in this area and not stagnant. You know, the speed of how much one is advanced shouldn't be that important. It also shouldn't be measured because you're still 2 different people, right? You're still 2 different natal charts. You still have 2 different likes and preferences when it comes to grandiose thoughts and lofty ideas and, you know, just bigger picture stuff. Maybe you share it. But again, are y'all talking? Are y'all communicating? Are y'all speaking in depth? Because then you'll know if you're on that same type of page, right? Jupiter traditionally rules over Pisces. Pisces rules over the 3rd house of communicating for Capricorn. You will be able to pick up on these things. And lastly, we're going to talk about Saturn being retrograde in the sign of Aquarius. For Pisces, that's the 12th house. For Capricorn, it's the 2nd house. And this planet is in retrograde. So Pisces is going to be hard at work on spiritual matters. They're really not going to be able to avoid it. This is their house. This is where they have to do some renewing of themselves, or undoing. Hopefully not undoing, hopefully renewing, reevaluating, looking at the steps that they've taken in life that have brought them to this point, and realizing that they've been guided to where they are right now. That's what the work being done on Pisces and Aquarius is at. A little bit aloof, but at the same time connecting to the things that are relevant. So it's like social relevance. They're not going to be talking to people who are not on the same level right now. If they're not working on the same thing in that area that they're working on, it just doesn't add up for Pisces right now. It doesn't make sense. Now, Capricorn, you either are or you are not one of those people. And you got to figure that out and figure out whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, because if they feel like you're not on their level, on a higher octave of the brain, then there can be some insecurity in you because of that. And this is vice versa, don't get me wrong. It's the Saturn's in both y'all Aquariuses, you know what I mean? But Pisces is more along the lines of the spiritual level. Capricorn's yours is more along the lines of the physical, material level. So this is where the two differ. So where you feel like your IQ is higher in the material world, Capricorn, the Pisces may look at that like, that ain't nothing to me. My IQ is up in the spiritual world. Therefore, this is where I'm at doing my work. You do your work where you're at. Now, if y'all have the type of understanding that can accept that about each other in this time, because it doesn't mean that it's overall your makeup, but that's what the time it is right now, then y'all cool. Y'all don't even got to trip over this. But if y'all feel some type of way because, you think you Mahatma Gandhi or something, or you think you Paris Hilton or now, bitch, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if y'all get into that petty shit, then y'all are corny, y'all are toxic, and y'all need to cut it the fuck out. Y'all need to pull yourselves together. But if y'all are being mature about it, which you should be with Saturn being there, you'll understand that you can step into some authority with doing this work on yourselves when it comes to this. You understand? And there's a way to connect on a hive mind level if y'all can find y'all way in that type of way. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean that just because Aquarius is on a higher thinking level that it can't be materialistic. You understand what I'm saying? It's not what you do, it's how you do it. And Aquarius energy is about being useful to each other. So one hand can wash the other, and it should. They don't have to be separate, Now, Capricorns, and I don't normally see Capricorns benefiting off of this type of stuff. And that is utilizing the digital publishing world to benefit from it. Like, to really make some change off of that, And it could be, I get it, it could be because you work in a whole different field, a whole different department, and it doesn't entail being on TikTok. I get it, you know what I mean? However, I will tell you this, if you are uncomfortable thinking about Jupiter being retrograde and you don't have enough homes, or you don't travel the world with the sun being in the 9th house, you don't travel the world as much as you want to, then you should be taking what I'm saying about Saturn being in Aquarius seriously right now, Capricorn, because you could be making some serious bank off the internet if you worked overtime on that instead of working overtime at your job. Get what I'm saying? So think about that. And that's all I got for y'all right now. That's all I got for y'all. Enjoy these next 2 weeks coming up. Got the information now. Utilize it to the best of your abilities, and great luck.